Welcome back to another episode of The Simple Farmhouse. I'm Laura and I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm going to share with you how we made over my daughter's bedroom in an academia style. This room has been a long time coming. It's taken us a few years to get to this point, but I wanted to share with you all the behind the scenes of where we started and how we got to where we are. This was my husband's home office the day that we moved everything out and into his new office, which you can find on the blog under my husband's office. I painted the room white to give us a fresh start. I planned on doing a built-in window seat. I started by ripping out the baseboard and marking out where the window seat would go. I'll include some basic plans for building a window seat in the description below. But I knew no matter what we did with this space in the long run, that a window seat would be very functional. I applied the skin of the window seat using plywood and then chose a very simple trim with 1x4s and 1x3s. Kids would come here and build Legos or color or have an art project or read quietly, but it soon became clear a few years down the road that my daughter was going to need a room of her very own. Now we needed to make it more her style. She's drawn to all things academia, and so we went and looked for some inspiration at a library nearby. What we loved about this Victorian library was the use of dark woods, lots of vintage books. We loved the touch of warm yellow, which infused the space with a soft glow. The globe lights were very inspiring of a vintage look, the lacy ironwork, and the soft filtered light that came through the ceiling. There was also a touch of black, which really brought balance to the space. We looked for ways to incorporate these concepts into a space that could feel all her own. For months, we kept an eye on Facebook Marketplace looking for vintage bookcases. And when we finally found one, we took a day trip to go and pick it up. I love the classic lines of this. It's a little bit ornate, but not overpowering. The dark wood is a perfect tone. So we brought it home, installed it on top of the old window seat, and removed the doors on the front to make it a full-length bookcase. Next up, an update in the wall color. For the homeschool art room, the wall had been Sherwin-Williams pure white, but now we knew we needed something a little more soft and vintage feeling. We went with white duck, which has a soft pink undertone and felt a little bit like parchment. For her 16th birthday, I was able to find another fantastic Facebook Marketplace find, this roll-top desk. It was in perfect condition, and the seller even threw in the vintage chair. Next up, we needed a little inspiration for the finishes. I knew we wanted to bring in a touch of yellow. We did that through the florals on the pillows as well as the bed covering. We also looked for vintage items and a little touch of lace. Here's a close-up of the pillow covers. I like purchasing pillow covers because it's cheaper than buying tons of pillows, but also is easier for storing away. These had a nice linen look to them, and I was very surprised at the quality for the price. I will link them below in the description. We also found some green velvet curtains on Amazon, and I wanted to make them look a little more luxe. So when we were out looking at hardware, I came across this touch of lace. It's supposed to be a cafe curtain, but I had the idea of attaching it to the bottom of our velvet. I'm going to use no-sew Velcro to attach this to the bottom. It looks like this, and I'm basically going to cut it into 1-inch strips and place those 1-inch strips a few inches apart along the bottom. This will also allow me to be able to remove the lace in order to wash it if it gets dirty brushing up along the floor. This is what it looked like finished. And I think it added some weight to the curtains, and I think it's really pretty. Another thing I love to do to save on the budget is to reimagine old lighting. So we took off the Edison bulb and the clear glass globe and replaced it with frosted globes that reminded us of the lights at the library. Instead of purchasing a new sconce for anywhere between $50 to $100, a frosted globe replacement was about $10. The next item in her room that I wanted to give a little refresh to was this Amazon mirror. It was a great price and I'll link it below, but I wanted to make it look a little more upscale using some rub and buff and a brush, some white wax, and I'm going to give something a try here. We'll see how it goes. I had some shoe polish and I just want to dirty it up a little bit. My thinking was if I could apply the waxes before the rub and buff is dry, then it would cure inside of the rub and buff. It's a little hard to tell in this lighting, but it really did remove a green undertone and make this look a lot more like gold plaster. So here I will try to dirty it up a little bit, get rid of some of that shine from the rub and buff finish, and just make it look a little more aged. After the dark polish, I'm going to come back in with this white furniture wax. I'm going to dab it on. It will take about 24 hours to cure, but I think it's going to add some color variation and make this look a little bit more like a painted plaster. It was time to style the room. A picture of my grandfather in World War II, an old fan, our linen covers for the pillows, some thrifted vintage books, and my daughter's hand-drawn artwork. She finally had a room that was her own. The room is so cozy and welcoming. It feels a bit vintage, a bit Victorian. With the wool bedding laid over her soft cotton duvet. The touches of yellow bring some warmth and some brightness. The cozy window seat where she spends a lot of time sketching. All of it feels so her. It took a couple of years to pull this room together, but it was worth the wait. Follow along for more room makeovers and simple DIYs that fit a budget. I hope to see you soon. Until next time.